I think we're all set. There we go. I have a face. Hi. Friday! Yeah, I know. Actually here. 'Tis weird. I've gotten used to not streaming on Fridays, but yet here I am. I was literally gonna end up staring at YouTube the entire afternoon. So I was like, you know what? Let me just pop in for a short bit. And most likely will be about, say, 2 hours. Given the impromptu-ness. Oh, I was pondering yesterday because I hadn't been on Saturday last week. So I was like, you know what? Let me just hop on here and get things done. So that's generally the plan. Not much to talk about given I just saw you all yesterday. So honestly, I'm just gonna hop right into it and go from there. But I hope you guys are doing well in the past 24 hours. Yeah, normally I'd start at 1, but I was like, nah. I was taking my sweet time, so 2 o'clock's not terrible. But at this point, you can see I'm pretty certain I might have to take back a row and basically start decreasing. Because I'm pretty sure I've hit the length of this dish towel, because I'm pretty sure this is one of my 9x16s. This is a different one from the one I had as an example yesterday. But yeah, you can see from here, this little square right here means I'm gonna have to frog all the way back here, which that's fine. I knew it was close, but I didn't realize I'd gone just past where I needed to be. Which that happens. Alright. Alright, and then which these do go quicker than the 10x18. Which is why sometimes I'll be like, oh yeah, I need to make sure I'm in the correct ballpark of what I want. But yeah, a good chunk of this I was doing it this morning after I went out to grab a thing or two from outside, which that was an adventure because firstly, I forgot my glasses when I went out there, which I was halfway where I was supposed to be and I was just like, something seems off. And I touched my face and I was just like, oh, I forgot my glasses. Cool. But I was already almost where I needed to be, so I decided, you know, this is not the time I'll be turning back, so hopefully this will be fine, which it was. Because again, we're far away, and thankfully things like, you know, street signals and stuff are large enough that, you know, I could still tell, you know, when to cross and all that, so it wasn't like I was in danger, but they help with seeing things a little bit more clearly and not straining my eyes, so yeah. That was not smart on my part, but I put it down to put them on, but then I completely forgot. But there are worse things. Like me accidentally not dressing warm enough, that's basically my own fault too. Cause I was just like, the phone's like, hey, it's 50-something, but the feels like was actually about 15 to 20 degrees lower, which I hadn't realized until it was like the wind was blowing. Hilariously, my mom had asked me, it's like, are you sure you're gonna be warm enough? And I was like, yeah, I'll be fine. But I figured like 50-something. It's like, with the wind, I thought maybe it'd get undercut to like 40-something. So I was like, I keep the thing zipped up, it's fine. When in accident, I was just like, I regret my decision. I'm literally saying it out loud. Hopefully not terribly loud, but I was just like, I regret my decisions. But stubbornly marching forward like the person that I am. Which, yeah. It wasn't like the worst thing in the world, plus by the time I got back, I had warmed up a bit. Because, you know, plus the wind had died down a little bit, so that helped. But yeah, if I'd been wearing like the appropriate level of clothing, I would have probably been mildly sweating. But I tend to do that little bit of a walk to go and do things relatively quickly. So basically, I was just like, actually kind of worked out. And I don't know this number. Please go away and stop calling me. Gonna wait for that to cut off so I can actually hear the music going. There we go. And then... there we go. Yeah, and that looks fake. So let's delete this. Alright. Let's disconnect this from here so things do not get preempted any further. There we go. Alright. So next time the phone rings, even if it's an annoying interruption, my headphones won't be preempted. Cool. These headphones like to connect to the phone first before it connects to the laptop, if they're somewhat in the same vicinity, which is mildly irritating and very unhelpful. I mean, it's easy to disconnect, but yeah, very much an annoyance. Especially if I'm trying to watch something and then all of a sudden, phone call. Usually someone I don't know. But yeah, as you can see, you definitely made a bit of progress since yesterday. Like I said, these don't go terribly long. But yeah, other than YouTube watching, I was looking at the scrubby yarn. Because I need a bit more, which Joann's finally has a sale that's somewhat reasonable, but still is kind of a mild punch to my wallet. But it is actually taking the 20% off. I think either the code was not working yesterday, or things were being weird. Because it was like, hey, it was showing the not 20% off, but like the $5 for shipping or whatever. But it was not showing any percentage off, but I think it was basically, might have been a condition that you needed it for in-store or, you know, picking it up, you get the 20% off, which that was not gonna happen. So it's in-store and online for that, which that works. And apparently they only allow one coupon, which is stupid, no stacking. Because I highly doubt they're hurting that much in the way of sales. And it's like, if you allow more than one coupon, people would buy more things, you know. But I do need more scrubby yarn, is my problem here. Given the blue's pretty much all done. I have 2 flat ones. But like, I looked at the ones that I want, which apparently either they've discontinued the candy cane color, which is the red and white, which that was the most reasonable out of the colors for red, which was, I was just like, wait a minute, where's that? Which they have 2 that have red into it, but red is not as prominent of a color as like Beach House, and then there's a Christmas one, and I'm just like, really? You take out Candy Cane and then you put those two. Why couldn't you just have a red and white? Come on, man. So I'm mildly miffed at that. So basically when it comes to that red and white, whatever's there is there. Unless someone happens to be stashing it somewhere. Which I could always check for. Although obviously I will spray it with a bit of Lysol or something before I use it. But yeah, I was surprised they got rid of Candy Cane. Not a color I would have thought they would have decided to have discontinued. Gotta look up. No worries. And there was an impromptu stream anyway, so that is not a problem. But thank you for the lurk. Hopefully your workday is going smoothly. I am just here recounting my mishaps of forgetting my glasses when I went outside today. And not dressing warm enough. Not terribly, not warm, but it was enough my body was like, I regret this. I regret this highly. But I made it. Oh, I forgot to buy the green tea. I knew I was forgetting something, although one of those things I was like, I'll come back next week for. It's fine. And I don't need the green tea immediately, so, meh. It's fine. So if I finish this in 2 hours, which I more than likely will, I will probably end up possibly doing some granny squares or something. That or some scrubbies, one or the other. But probably sub-squares, because I do need to continue getting a move on with those. So it's not the worst thing if I did a bit of that. That, or I could start another dish towel. Because I have a bit of pebble in the, yeah, one of the multicolors. Which that is also another thing on my list, which is just like, I'm waiting to see, given Dishy is incorporating some new colors, that the Dishy lines, hopefully, or at least the solids, might go on sale. If I'm lucky, but I highly doubt it. But we'll see what happens with that. Because just that stuff adds up quickly, even though I don't have the largest of stock. Which today is the last day for the red, white, and pink sale. Speaking of, so if you definitely want to grab some of that, definitely do so while you still can. Come on. I should probably open my door before I melt. Because the vent's on, because windy means it's not warm, thus meaning the vent's gonna start making in here quite the sauna. I would have made tea, but then I was just like, nah. Plus, if I was gonna make tea, it would have been like when I first got back inside. A little bit afterwards. Because, again, most of my tea is black tea, thus being caffeinated. So I usually prefer to have my tea by now, or else I will be running up the walls. And I feel like I'm a bit sensitive to caffeine, so I keep it to about 1 cup a day. Very rarely do I have more than 1 cup. And my cup, you see, is like a 12 ounce, so it's not large. Although I wouldn't mind like a 16 ounce. It always feels like that cup runs out pretty soon. Do. Nope. There we go. Okay, I really am fond of these hooks, though. So very much I'm glad I bought these. Because I have not had any real hand discomfort from using these so far. Well, I am very glad for that, at least. Oh, that reminds me, I should actually open GiftBot. The thing I tend to forget that exists. I should probably check if that needs an update sometime soon. Hopefully not. Need to add more gifts to the thing. I just haven't gotten around to it just as of yet. Come on. Probably within the hour I'm gonna have to bring the light over here just a little bit. Because I know it's a bit cloudy outside, so the lighting's gonna be a bit spotty in portions. Which I checked the weather just in case, because it rained last night, so typically before and after it rains, it's typically a little bit cloudy out there, so I tend to like to have some extra lighting to even things out, which I made sure to charge it, so we should be all good in that department today. Alright, there it is. There we are. Also, I do appreciate that that follow from a few hours ago from Lady Luck. Very much appreciate you. Why do I need to feel the need to yawn? I am not tired, although I did sleep kind of like kind of tossed and turned a bit, which was not fun. I might have myself a small cup of coffee, maybe. Although I might pay for it later, but hopefully I should be fine. We will see. So, let's sneak this over here. Ta-da-da! Okay, you get over here. This I need to shift a little bit to stable off this. Because that's getting a little bit weird. Okay, cool. We are a little bit stable now. Just want to make sure that that's all good. And then... Actually, no, it's fine. I'll just leave it alone. For now. Oh, well. Actually, you know what? Let me just turn down the gain a little bit, if this will cooperate, because that was not cooperating on Thursday. For whatever reason. Okay, that's better. I want to make sure the glare off the crochet hook is not being weird. So, let's leave you open just in case, but yeah. It was not cooperating on Thursday, and I'm not sure why. I had not seen it do that before, so I'm not sure what the problem was. But, yeah. I guess it just needed turning off and turning on again. As things are wont to do. Technology is weird. I do need to get more dishy at some point in time. Which I might set up another goal on Ko-fi. I'd set up one for, let's see. What is it, December? Might have been December or so. If not December, January. I'm still doing that glare off of there. That's not terrible. I swear, the way it glints like that makes me think like, hey, this is gonna turn to Excalibur any moment. I'm just like, nope. Don't need that. If anyone did like a mix match set of dish towels, stuff like this would probably be like pairing like one of the grays with like one of the colors like this would work pretty well. I feel like when anybody wants like 2 dish towels or so, they kind of want the matching colors. I could be wrong, but that's my opinion. Which I am pondering maybe having like scrap dish towels, which is using like the little bits left over of the yarn. So basically like more, I guess more rainbowy dish towels. Depending on how much is left. Because these certainly take a bit. Oh no. It's a thought. Which I do also want to see if eventually, like, at least later in the year, maybe come up with some colorwork dish towels. However, the only thing with colorwork is the fact that, you know, colorwork has a front and a back side. So there's a side you'll want to see and a side you don't. And that, you know, other side can potentially get caught in a thing. So it'd have to be like, say, a double knit, which is a bit of work into itself. I'd rather not end up getting into, so... Oh, so I guess with the thing being cloudy, that means my taking pictures period has gone for the day. So I was gonna take pictures before I got started, but I was literally like, I'm gonna sit here and watch YouTube. So that time has passed. Oh well. There is always tomorrow. Ah, come on. There it is. But yeah, the main reason why I hopped on here today is mostly the fact that I was like, I'm gonna be working on this regardless whether I'm here or not, so why not? Come on. And why is my throat dry? I have not needed a cough all day, and then uh-oh, don't tell me. Because I saw the thing, like, did I accidentally close that? Nearly had a heart attack. Cool. Do 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 do. Come on. But even though I did not make any tea, I still have my water, and it's probably a good thing. I am having more water, so there's always that. Come on. I definitely should be able to finish this with yarn left over, which that is perfectly cool. Come on. But yeah, in the main part, the dish scrubbies are my imminent problem. So I really am gonna have to figure out what to do about those. Like, down the line, I might just, get rid of them as a thing, so I don't have to worry about that. Even though I do like them. Ah, nope. Wrong area. Let's try that again. There we go. Ah, nope. I do like doing these dish towels though. I don't have to think about terribly much while doing them. Just make sure I am putting my hook in the right space, and basically it all works out. Which, with these, arguably, given the... I could possibly, have, someone's initials in these as, a cool thing. Like, monogram dish towels. Which, no, the knit ones, that probably wouldn't work. The crochet ones, yes, because it's corner to corner. You can, have a letter in here. That's a nice thing. But garter stitch, it probably wouldn't work out as well. But it certainly is an idea. I should probably write that down. Because I've done someone's name in a baby blanket, so... In a dish towel... Arguably, it should be a similar process. Although, arguably, that was acrylic and this is cotton, but yeah, it's pretty much the same premise on getting that to work. It's either I could do the face, maybe have these corner to corner small ones as face scrubbies and stuff. So it's like corner to corner, like 6x6 for like whatever leftover yarn happens to be around, maybe. But yeah, I think I'm gonna get rid of the current iteration of the face scrubbies, even though I like them. So basically, those are gonna go away when the listing expires, which should be about in the middle of next month. So if anybody wants those, that's a thing. Which also, to note, I realized I had mentioned this before, but my shop is currently only selling into the US and Canada for the moment. Till as long as, like, you know, I get a handle on things, but I do take commissions for such things. If anybody be interested. Come on. I can do the thing. Whee. Okay. I should see. How are we doing? I'd say another 12. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. 8, 9, 10, 11. Alright, 10 more rows. About 10. And then I should be done with this. So yeah, I'll definitely be done with this before the end of stream. So I'll definitely have at least accomplished something on that. I still have orders to work on. Specifically, I'd planned on maybe doing, like, drawing some of the cards that I typically put in packages, but I was like, you know what? For a 2-hour stream and given I have to wait for stuff to dry, it is probably better I do something like this. I don't have to worry about things like that. If I hadn't drawn them, so I'd probably be more in the sketching phase than anything else, but yeah, I need to pick up the pace on those. But I really would like to know, I think it's more of distribution issues, why in the absolute hell the lace sugar and cream scrub off yarn is so goddamn expensive. Like, I swear it was slightly less before everything had gone to hell. Like, I'd probably have to find my old receipts for them, because I don't buy the yarn frequently, because I usually don't need a ton of it. But I might have to suck up what the current price is, even though it is 20% off, so it's not the worst price. So 20% of $5.50? Yeah, about $5.50. $5.49. So call it, that would be $1.08 if I bought, yeah, $1.08, so that would be $4.41 for one. And then $8.82 for 2 of them. Ugh. I really do hate that this stuff is slightly more than what I'd want it to be, but I have no choice right now. Because I very much do need a bit of stock on it. Although, watch I buy it and then it goes on a better sale. To which I'll just be like, why? Why you do this to me? But there's literally honestly no real other place other than Hobby Lobby, but Hobby Lobby can go fuck off, so yeah, not really much in the way of options. Plus, I even checked just to see, and they don't offer all the colors I want. They only offer one. Literally, they only offer one of them, so I was just like, no. A, not gonna compromise my integrity. B, it's a waste of time to buy one thing of yarn. But they literally have the best price because they're on sale there for like $3.49. Or something like that. I literally checked everywhere else, so I'm gonna have to see if I could find potentially anyone who is destashing that yarn to see if I could get a better price. But I suspect not, unless like someone's just like, I want it here. Which would be very helpful, but I highly doubt I will get that lucky. So, meh. It be what it be. Okay, let me open this door, because it is getting a wee bit warm. And I am not about that right now. Like, warm to the point where it's, like, mildly stifling. Alright, leave this here. Door's literally just, like, a foot or two away, so I'll be right back in a second. That's better. I know, I feel like someone stuck me in a sauna involuntarily. Also, this teal, the Kanai color, you can see it's messing with the look of the blue. Like, the blue has a bit of, the gray, I mean, has a bit of a blue tinge, rather, right next to it. Like, I think if I took away this Kanai, it might help a little bit, although I did mess with the balance, but yeah, I could see it kind of has a little less blue tinge to it. Put it back, there's more blue. A slightly blue look to it. Even though I'm pretty sure the way I put... Yeah, let me move the white balance more towards the middle. Yeah, it's on the blue side slightly. But let's move it over here. Okay, that's better. Because this is one of those annoying colors to have to photograph with other colors. Because it causes the camera to kind of shift to a more cooler tone. Thus throwing all the other colors off. Which I do adjust my photos to the best of my ability, but you know, colors on my phone could look different on my monitor, and it's a whole mess, and I'm just like, ugh. Oop. Let's not tug on the camera cord. That would be bad. I am not buying myself a new camera this year, because I don't need to. So I very much would not like to destroy my camera cord. Although, I kind of wish these were like... You know how the charging cords for the phones, you can take the USB section out of the adapter that you plug into the wall? I kind of wish cameras had that, where it's like you could plug in a thing, like essentially having replaceable cables, so you don't have to buy the whole thing again. I kind of wish that was like the same deal, but you know, to my knowledge, that is not a thing. But I wish it was. It would make life a bit easier. Come on. Also, I'm trying to come up with ideas for what to draw the said cards I'm putting into the things, which I have one I've already sketched out. I just need the other 3. Which I might put some roses on the one, because I like the roses. Plus, I haven't drawn roses in a bit. So, I could do that. What else? Let's see. I had this thought last night out of nowhere where it's just like maybe, you know how, you know, things get portrayed in stained glass? Like, say, you know, flowers in like a stained glass window, or, you know, relative religious iconography. I was thinking maybe drawing a Game Boy in a stained glass. That or a Switch, one or the other, for the fun of it. Plus, it sounds like an interesting combination. Also, if I wander out of frame, that is my bad. I do that sometimes if I am not paying attention. Plus, you know, frame is different than what I'm used to. So I'm trying to make sure I don't do that. Hi, keep yourself over here. Probably help adjust my seating here to keep this like so. Come on. There it is. Trying to make sure that stays out of frame. Come on. Nope. I did 3 instead of 2. Let's try that again. That's better. So, for anybody wondering how to do corner to corner, this is the decreasing portion where basically both sides, instead of like doing the chain 6 and then crocheting into the last 3 stitches, you stop at where you want the edge to be, and then you pull your stitch through here. But with the edge, basically I do 3 instead of 2, because if I do 2, it kind of scrunches too much. But that's only on the edges. On the inside, it's always 2, so you don't end up with the spacing. It's literally a minor thing, but it really makes all the difference. Ah, nope. Come on. Thank you. I literally almost did not pull the yarn through. I was like, wait, I'm missing something. Come on. But now that I have the cushion hooks, I kind of want to see about maybe crocheting socks, but it's one of those. Maybe I will, maybe I won't sort of things. Who knows? Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4. I was like, wait, did I? I was gonna put an extra double crochet in here. Ah, nope. Come on. Although, actually, because getting that stitch to be somewhat even is always a hassle to me. Alright, probably not gonna be done by the time break happens, which, oh, that's about now, speaking of break. So I was just like, how far am I gonna get before break? Because last I saw, it was like 8 minutes before that. So, let me do a couple of squares here, and then I will go take my break, which is gonna be about 10 minutes, and then I will pop back on here. But yeah, I should be able to finish the rest of this in time. By the time 4 o'clock rolls around, but we will see. Hopefully, I will be correct in my current hypothesis. Alright, one more square, one more square. Also, my throat is dry, although it's probably because I am mostly talking a mile a minute, which is probably not helpful in the making sure my throat is not dry. Alright, so yeah, this is what we got so far. And I think how many? And yeah. Yeah, this is definitely gonna be done before 4 o'clock. We should be fine. Please don't jinx myself. But yeah, I'll be back. Totally feel free to play the Drop or the Plinko game here on the Be Right Back screen. Definitely is a quick bit of project work here. Hi again. Alright, so let's just jump back into this. Come on, there we are. Do. Come on. Come. And there we go. Now the rows are pretty much getting shorter and shorter with this decrease point. This part is going to pretty much fly by relatively quickly. Alright, time to move this back around. Come on. There it is. Nope, don't do that. So the larger sizes of these, I feel like definitely would work out pretty well as placemats, although this could be like a kid's placemat in the size here. It arguably should be able to fit, you know, child-sized plate and all that, I think. It's 9 inches wide, and kids' plates are like maybe 7-8 inches, if I'm rolling correctly off the top of my head. So instead of having the plastic ones, you could easily have a cotton one like this. Come on. Which I do market these as dish towels in the shop, the larger size ones. Because given the garter stitch ones won't curl up either. It's just the cabled ones. I literally have to like soak for a little bit and block it to keep the edges from curling because, oh god, sneeze. Because it's pretty much a stockinette. So let's see. Pearls on the front, knits on the back side, so that the actual cables stand out. Which is making me wonder if I should play around with how those edges work. To see if those work any better. Like say, like every few rows, like do a knit row to make it less inclined to want to curl. Which, I don't mean these, I mean the cabled ones I have. That's like at the edge point. That's honestly a minor inconvenience on my part, really. Given I am highly inclined to pay attention to detail like that, I very much don't. Don't like things like that going on. Alright, and we have another row. And this is the first one I'm using this hook rather than the 4.25, so I'm really, my only thing is I hope it's not taking a bit more yarn, but I don't know. Plus that also could just be my tension being a wee bit tight, so who knows? But yeah, I'll probably compare once it's done to see how many of these high compared to how many of these wide it is. And also let's get actually back in frame and see if there's like any real difference. More than likely there isn't, because 0.25 millimeters is not that much of a difference unless you're talking the little crochet hooks that you're probably using for granny squares and or putting beads onto projects, which is the only reason why my 0.60 millimeter crochet hook exists in my possession. Which is making me think, like, I kinda wish I had looked for one elsewhere. Now that I know the whole, hey, these are pretty much what the more expensive brands are stamping their name onto. At least in this instance. I don't know if they've always done that, but more than likely, I'm inclined to think yes on that, because I imagine that would be highly cost-effective, rather than having to make your own. Two, three. Come on. Alright, just a couple more rows. And we shall be done here. Also, now that I'm doing this stream today, I guess that means I'm streaming 3 days in a row, unintentionally. The next week will likely be back to the regular schedule. Alright. Yeah, you can see the space is getting smaller and smaller, so we are slowly, well, not slowly, but we are surely getting there. Alright, and Oh, also, the yarn for the sweater and all that stuff, that's apparently out for delivery, although I'm not sure if it's gotten into USPS's hands yet, although I think... let me check. Because I saw the email. And I'm not in a hurry, because that's for the sweater. But I'm guessing they're like taking it, I'm guessing, over to New Jersey and then handing it off to USPS. That's typically their MO. Alright, I think. Where is it? Yes, I made it. Where? Yeah, 1 day ago. Blah, blah, blah. They're gonna make me log in, aren't they? I knew it. Why? Hello? Please let me do the thing. Why are you taking... Did it freeze? It better not have froze. Okay, it just wasn't done loading. Really? That should not take that long to load. I didn't put a code in. You're just being weird. Come on. Come on. Yeah, I'm just gonna crochet and wait for that to... do its thing. Should not be taking that long to load. Wow, really? Okay. Let's put this code in here. That's what I thought. Track remainder. Your status is not available yet. Probably the latter. Because they haven't picked up anything since the 16th. Which is really weird. So it likely is somewhere in the abyss that is the postal system, I'm willing to bet. So, yeah, that's fun. But yeah, that came out a lot quicker than I was expecting. It's typically, usually takes at least a couple of days for it to be like, hey, we're shipping your things. Because I just barely got it. To free shipping status. But that was intentional because the whole... It's kind of how I am. If I'm gonna have to go for free shipping, it's like... I tend to do the bare minimum when it comes to things like that. Alright, there we go. 3 more squares, and we are all set here. Come on. Come on. So the fact that I'm watching Iron Chef on YouTube, I wonder if they have any old Good Eats episodes on YouTube. Although, I could check if they have it on Hulu. More than likely not, because I know the last I checked it's on Netflix. So, usually they tend to not have some shows on both major streaming services. I very much do want to watch it because it's always been a good show, especially when he came to revisit some of the old stuff in Reloaded to, like, you know, note any errors and inconsistencies from the first go around, because, you know, stuff changes. Because what, Good Eats started in like 2000 or so. And it's certainly, from what I recall, when I used to watch Food Network as a kid, that was certainly one of my more preferred things to watch. Alright. That square! Alright. I don't have, I don't have the scissors right here in front of my face, or else I would cut. Actually, no. It's right there. Oh, yeah. I thought it was further back than it would have been to be in my reach. But yeah, let me compare. How many squares? Wait. No. Why? Why do you look so short? Are you kidding me? Yeah, it looks shorter than it actually is. What the no. What? It's literally a whole inch shorter. I literally compared it before, it was sticking out on top, and now it's just like, nope, you're an inch short. So that means where I ended to decrease was the wrong area. Cool. It doesn't mean I have to frog the whole thing, but it does mean I'll have to frog some of this. The whole decrease section, pretty much. Yeah. Yeah, that's short. Actually, both of these are short. What the hell? Why does that say 15? That's really weird. Although I think because that one's crinkled on that side might be why. If anything, I could always block that out a little bit. Yeah. That was just that being crinkled on that one side. Alright, that's fine. This, let's flatten that and see. It's like, that looks a little small. Honestly, it could be this thing shrinking in on itself a little bit. But I do think it might be a little short. Let's see. Yeah. It's only just nearly close to 15. Okay, yeah. Alright, so I'm gonna need to frog all of this. I was like, hey, I'll be done. Cool. That's fun. At least it's more quality time with me watching stuff, I guess. So I think I'll probably need at least 2 or 3 more rows of this, so oh well. But either way, I'm still a lot farther than I was yesterday, so it is not the worst thing in the world. But I'm very glad I did not cut the end yarn, or I would have been very, very displeased with myself. But yeah, arguably to a degree this could just be my tension, but yeah, I feel like if you look at the stitches, like, these are a little bit smaller. It's like 1, 2, 3. 3 of these is nearly 4 of these, so yeah, this might actually be a little bit smaller, so I might have to go see if I could find this on... use the 7 hook with this, so I might have to frog this whole thing, maybe? So... oh, me crocheting is apparently counting as steps. Cool. I didn't realize. Whoops. That's why I have more steps than I thought I should. Alright. So I might have to frog this whole thing. Cause I'm usually not that far towards the end with this yarn. Do. This is a pain and I'm very annoyed. Although, I have the box right there, so I can always see how it compares. Let's see, here it is. Probably would have been smart if I'd thought about to use this, but meh. I didn't think it would tighten it by that much. But apparently it does. Alright. Alright, so let's see how this goes with 7 here. If I prefer it better, I might just restart this whole thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. I was not expecting me to have to frog all that. Yeah, you can definitely see, which 0.5 millimeter definitely does show a bit of a difference. So yeah, it's probably better if I use this rather than use the 6 for this, so that solves that question. I'm gonna take my time because I'm... Actually, you know what? I could just frog this whole damn thing here. Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna frog this whole thing because it's gonna be a bit too tight. And then this. Yeah, fuck it. Fuck it. And then just start from the beginning. And see how far I get. There are worse things, so meh. Also, I'm gonna quickly put this to charge anyway, because I mean to do so. Oh cool, and things that continue to be annoying. This thing is deciding it doesn't want to charge. Why are we like this? Hello. Please charge. Gonna need you to charge. It's not dead now, but... There it is. Yay! Alright. That solves that problem. Now to frog this whole thing. I spent yesterday, today, and working on. Do-do-do-do-do, frogging forever. Good thing this is not like an ultra fuzzy yarn that would easily get caught on itself. So, let's see. I swear, this is like my entire life every time. I'm like, I'm gonna have a nice, simple, easy project. Nope. Not in my watch. Again, I guess it's a good thing I decided to do the smaller one of these. Or else this would be a lot worse. I'm gonna wind it on the ball winder and then start from the beginning. Oh wow, I can feel my hand just starting to tense up a bit. Can we not? I just need to frog these rows. Please don't tense up, right hand. That's the same hand I've been holding the hook in. So it's gonna be very cranky after a while. Do 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 do. Frogging the yarn. Yeah, almost there. Well, you can't even see the other hook pretty much anymore. To a degree, that arguably could have been fine, but yeah, definitely don't want something that's going to use up more yarn than necessary, so let's see. Almost there. A few more rows, and then there we go. Alright. I don't have the thing attached to it, but I would clamp it down on makeshift table. Which I don't mind, and very much prefer holding in my hands anyway. Come on. How about we don't do that? Okay. Come on. There it is. Okay, this pile has shrunk dramatically quickly, which is not terrible. There. Hopefully this is the only time I will have to do this. I can't believe I thought I was done and it was just like, nope. Not even remotely done. Uh-oh. Yep. I didn't notice that. Ah! That was my fault. Let's try that again. There it is. Down there. Well, I can, yeah, that can go where it wants. Do 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 do. Come on. There it is. Alright, we have our cake back. I will never know how I managed to survive without a ball winder. There. Alright, and this hook goes back into the box, and then which that means I might have to revisit those granny squares I did too. 'Cause I was wondering if those looked a little bit smaller. Damn it. But those, not the granny squares, what's the word? The scrubbies I had done. Alright, so let's start from the top. With what little time we have left, because I have no plans to really go over. Like, this is certainly not how I planned today to go. But it happens. Fine. Do. 2, 3, 4, 5. Nope. Don't do that. Okay, you can definitely see size difference compared to what they were doing before. So let's see, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, this lines up a lot better. So it looks like there was a wee bit of shrinkage going on that I was not aware of. Huh. Do. 2. Also, I realize I'm too late now, but I realize I might have been a wee bit out of frame for a good chunk of that. Or at least really close to it. Oh well. Such is life. Guess I'll be crocheting a dish towel a lot tonight. Oh well. Socks. On the plus side, at least this is not something complicated, so I will probably pretty easily get back to where I was, so should be alright. But yeah, the fact that I was very close to running out of yarn should have been my first hint. Also the fact that the squares were a wee bit smaller than I remembered. Queen Ray, hello, hello! I'm actually gonna be heading off soon. This was just a pop-up stream for me, so yeah, I'm not gonna be on for terribly much longer, but hello. I realized I made a small mistake using the hook I used yesterday for that dish towel. So I literally just fraud the whole thing and I'm starting from scratch, so yeah, that has been my last 2 hours. But how has your Friday been? Hopefully slightly better than mine. Shorts? Like you're making shorts? Which that has been one of those things I've wanted to at least knit at one point in time. The first 2 times I didn't join Rant and didn't notice until like that. No. Ugh. It's even worse when that happens all at once. Crocheting. Yeah, I figured. Slow day. Okay. Glad you can stop in for even just a little bit. Which 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Wait. It's like, yeah, that looks like more than 6. Let's try it again. Give me a second. I would need to give you a permanent because I don't have link permanents open and available. Unless you're a sub or a regular, because I would like to avoid bots throwing in random links in here. So let's try it again. There you go. Now you should be able to throw in that link. Okay, I was like, I put in the thing. That should not be a problem. Okay, yeah, that's still one too many. Let's try that again. There you go. Ah, it's a YouTube video. Okay. Yeah, I have a couple of patterns, but a YouTube video also would help. Also, let me mute this tab. So... it doesn't start immediately screeching at me. Thank you, though, for sharing. Okay, I have it so it doesn't autoplay, but I make sure to mute this anyway. Because we're not allowed to play other people's content on your videos. It's a thing. Oh, okay, those are cute. Hopefully, if the pattern cooperates with you, you'll be able to make them. But those are cute. Yeah, you're not allowed to. I think it's one of the more recent things, because stuff like, you know, playing music that you're not permitted to play is a bad thing, but, you know, things like that. But yeah, you're not allowed to play, you know, other people's stuff unless you have permission to play it. It should be yeah. Yeah, the rest of it looks like, if not double crochet, half double crochet and that sort of stuff. So, pretty sure that should be a... that should work out pretty well. Alright. I'm good. Fair. That is very fair. And I very much understand that. give this a few more rolls and then I'm gonna probably head off. I want to give myself at least 1 or 2 more. Aw, thank you for the bits. You did not have to do that. That was kind of you. Because stuff like that goes back into helping the stream. Alrighty! Hope work works out and that these shorts cooperate with you. If I don't see you tomorrow, because I'll be on tomorrow, enjoy your weekend. Alright. 1 more row for write down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm definitely gonna probably give my hands a break for a little bit after this and then come back. Tomorrow I'll likely be doing something else because I have a couple of things I can probably work on. So likely be doing this off stream. Come on. But yeah, not as completely gapless as before, but not as, like, egregiously gappy, so it still works out, so I am completely fine with this. Uh-oh, that's a half double. Let's try that again. No half doubles. Although if you want shorter squares, you could probably do half doubles, but that's not what we are shooting for here, so I am not doing that. Okay, I did put my sneakers back, yay! But I'd taken off my sneakers when I got back inside earlier, and I was just like, did I remember to, you know, put them back? But given they're not on the floor where I left them right there, I put them back, which is awesome. Not that that's uncommon, it's just sometimes I forget, so I try to double check. But yeah, so we have a couple increased rows here, and we have the second attempt of this dish towel going here. Hopefully by stream tomorrow I will likely be able to get it back to where it was, if not outright finish it, but we'll see what happens. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. Queen Ray, thank you very much for stopping, and also thank you for the bits. Also, thank you, Bams, for the lurk. I very much appreciate you. Hope your workday is going well. Also, anybody else who is hanging out with me today with the surprise stream, hopefully you guys mildly enjoyed my frustration. I will be back again tomorrow, because tomorrow is Saturday, which is a regular stream day. I'll be back at the usual time of 1 p.m. Might start slightly earlier, but general plan is to be here at 1. If you can't be here on Saturday, totally feel free to... Well, wrong words. Enjoy your weekend. There you go. Enjoy your weekend, and I will see you guys again soon. Bye! Do 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 do.